All right, surprise again. Jay was telling me that you guys have been asking for a video where I kind of go through every like big montage, like PC build montage that I've done across the years and kind of pick like, talk about which one was most popular, and if I had a pick, then talk about which one was my pick, and et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of didn't want to feel super lonely and a little bit weird and pretentious, so I forced Nick to be in this video too while while Jay's out of the office. So
extra surprise for you guys.
Extra surprise. So yeah, we have a list of like basically the most popular PC builds that we did that year, and if I've picked a different one. So this is gonna be a crazy mix of montages because it starts in 2018. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with 2018. I basically joined in the middle of 2018, so I kind of missed out. Like one of my favorite Jay builds, my favorite video actually of Jay's leading up to me getting hired was the, it was actually the one that got them the Micro Center sponsorship because they went and like surprised, you guys surprised that that one dude with the PC build.
For the Jay's Rack?
Yeah, Jay's Rack, where you had him like kind of pick parts and he didn't know that he was picking parts for his own computer. So that was my favorite build, but most importantly, I wish I was a part of the Terry Crews build. But unsurprisingly, the most popular build in 2018 was Post Malone's PC. So, and that's also going to be my favorite pick mainly because I didn't really get to stretch my legs much in 2018 because I joined kind of late, but
I think this is like right after I left.
I think so.
Because I was like halfway through the Post.
Yeah,
Malone.
you must have been like, you had left for a little bit and then you came back.
Yeah.
Go ahead and open them.
Fuck yeah, boy! That shit is so bitchin'. I need another beer.
See, his reaction was good. I just wish the guitar could have more strings, but it was a fabrication thing. At least from what I heard. I wasn't really that much of a part of the concept part of this build.
I got to see like the early concepts. I didn't get to see the finished concept.
Right.
But yeah, this was neat to watch when I was still on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Because the unveiling happened that day too. I was like, oh, this is really awesome.
What sucks as an editor is that like, I really wanted to use his music, but it's like, it's just the stupidity of the whole industry and like the dude is right there. I could be like, yo, can I use your song? And he'll be like, chill with it. But it's not up to us, which is the stupidest thing when you're literally talking to the artist. I had a lot of fun with that edit. And plus, I mean, the computer just looks insane. All right, so moving on to 2019, the most popular build and one that I'm thankful is the most popular build that you guys saw was the Make-A-Wish build. That is, like, if I was the most proud of one single piece of work that I've ever done, it's probably still this video and that whole like day and experience and everything with the dude. Like, it was so cool. And the PC build was freaking sick and like his vibe and everything matched with Jay really well. And it was such a cool experience. So with this build montage, I wanted to make sure that we kind of kept the actual power button and the first boot and that whole moment kind of like untouched.
It's normal.
Because you can see the sweat on his brow, like as soon as it turns back off, and he's like,
There it is. Yeah.
There's just, if you've ever built a computer, you know, there's something about seeing the press delete to enter BIOS on the first boot, and you're just like, oh my god, it worked.
I nailed it.
It did, like, I don't even care if I had to fix anything later. Like, my first computer, it built it and it worked. Like, that's such a sick feeling. I do have a few honorable mentions though, because 2019 was freaking crazy with builds actually. I only found that out, or I only noticed it when I was putting together this video, but let's go ahead and do my first honorable mention, which is Mark's freaking Destiny build.
Your eyes. All right, open them up.
Oh. I could hear that face. Like, I know him enough now to know that.
Just, whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, the wear and tear on the metal pieces looks so good. You can definitely see the channeling of the Adam Savage in Jay's work through here, because it's just... One of the things that Adam Savage has said that's always stuck with me when watching Jay doing this sort of like model building and stuff is like... What is it? It's... You tell little micro stories with each brushstroke or like physical damage that you're doing to the thing or wear and tear and stuff. It's like it tells a story, you know? And like that was just, it's so cool seeing that sort of stuff where it's like, even just the blast marks, the fact that they have a direction tells you a story of like, oh, it came from this side, you know what I mean? And like just little things like that. I love that about that sort of like model building and like prop building and stuff. And yeah, it's so cool.
I felt like this is kind of the tipping point where he got more confident with wanting to do modding.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like he kind of reserved that skill for like his boats and models.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, you know what I mean? It's like, wait,
so this was
I work with like other canvases too, you know?
This was like the first concept, and then it's like, okay, cool, it turned out all right, and we could push further.
Freaking sick.
Yeah.
And again, there's gonna be links to all of these videos in the description as well, so that way, if you guys want to watch them without me and Nick yapping all over the top of it. All right, so my second honorable mention out of 2019, again, insane builds in this year for some reason, it was crazy, was freaking Nebula, dude. Like, what an insane computer. Come leak your country's military jet
Secrets
manuals.
Of the forums. Yeah.
I wish I'd worked more abstract stuff into my modern. I gotta do that again. Like just random lines and crap that I was just drawing. It was like. That's one of my favorite things to do is a rack focus into a cut because it just blurs it into the new image. That was an iPhone shot because we didn't, another iPhone shot right there. I don't think the probe lens was working, or I don't think we had it yet.
I don't think.
Yeah, so I was just like, let me just shove my iPhone in there. And like, it worked fine, but the sensor just looks too different from the, I think we were using the FS5 back here.
That fade with the galaxy.
The Nebula?
Oh my gosh. I didn't want to say it.
Technically it was a galaxy. I cringed when I was editing that because I was like, I know it's a galaxy, but whatever. People aren't going to see a nebula and think space, you just think clouds. All right, so that wrapped up 2019, at least my picks for 2019. So that moves us to 2020, which was such a fun year. So the most popular build in 2020, let's see what you guys did. It was surprised my daughter with her dream PC. Yeah. I don't know. It was a different vibe. Like I wanted to switch up the vibe because it's always been so like,
oh, that was
like
dope.
Hard gangsta trap.
Yeah.
And then this was more of like a fun kind of like Apple iPod ad style. Oh yeah.
How long did those edits, like when you did the
split screen part? I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's annoying because it's not difficult. Like it doesn't require much skill. It just requires
the
patience.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So my pick for 2020 though was not that build. It was Black Ice, which is probably, I think, one of the sickest builds that Jay's ever done. But this track is so sick.
So back to trap.
I mean, look at the computer though. A lot of times, actually almost every montage, what I do is I like to vibe off of the build itself, which is why that poppy track works better for that super crazy RGB build. But this build, like, look at it. It looks like it wants to cut you. So I had to pick a track that sounded like you were about to get cut. Okay, it's 2021. Let's see what you guys picked. It was Skunkworks 2021. Makes sense. Makes total sense. Hell yes. I forgot I added lasers. Man, those frosted tubes, I kind of miss
So good.
I miss colored coolant. Plus it has that like, that like sick like 90s radioactive, like 90s 2000s radioactive vibe.
It's like a cleaner radioactive than just like Surge.
Yeah.
Like the soda.
And then my pick was my PC in 2021, obviously. That one's an easy one. This is another like more pop track that I picked for the build part. probably the computer that I have the most fond memories with, just because like I was playing the most games at the time, and it was just such an insane mix of hardware. Eventually we got a 3090 into that computer as well, and like just to have it in a computer that was like this big was just so freaking cool. All right, so let's move on to 2022, and in this time, here's the reroll. That's the most popular. No. That was the most popular build for obvious reasons. I mean, I think part of it, it's not necessarily about the computer. It was just about
justice.
What the hell happened in that entire situation? And I was just so glad that we were able to do something like this for somebody that got absolutely screwed over by just don't.
And film montage the crap out of this.
No pressure. What if it sucks, dude?
Oh no.
I love the slower pace of this build because it's like, the vibe I was going for was kind of like you said, like justice, but like less Batman-y, I guess vindication. That feeling of like, yes, like this is how it was supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like she was supposed to have a dope ass computer, and this is Jade fixing that, like righting that wrong. And so of course that's going to be the most popular build in 2022. Like that whole story was just insane. But I do have an honorable mention, and it's going to be the Spectre III, which I think was super underrated, even by Jay, because he didn't even really use it for that long. But I thought it was one of the sickest like chassis ever. And
that one hurt me because I remember I was making the brackets for the screen.
Yeah.
And like he never took it home to use it.
Yeah,
so like
I forgot.
I went through so many revisions of brackets, and like
so
I finally
funny.
made the best bracket. You could use it, and then
It literally
new build. I'm like, okay, dude. Like,
it sat in the studio under a tarp for like a year and then got dismantled. That is, yeah.
I should like, can I use this? I want to use a
you
bracket.
use that as your office computer.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? This is my favorite thing ever. Wait, right? It's after this part.
Oh. Bill in the studio, mixing.
This chassis, this case, the freaking colors and everything are so sick.
All the fitting. I like the offset fittings too.
Okay, so let's move on to 2023. The most popular build in that year was Jay's InWin 925, which was the smaller case that he used, the smaller version of the case that he used in Nebula. One of my favorite visual gags to do is do something that's like incredibly stupid immediately into something that has like incredible aura farming. And it's like, it's just, the contrast always cracks me up and that sort of stuff.
We weren't even using that term back then.
Yeah, I was just using modern language, but yeah. Okay, so 2023 had a couple honorable mentions from me. I'm saying this one should have been the most popular build, and it is the EVGA E1 Tribute build, because freaking carbon fiber and steel cables to suspend a motherboard is like the coolest.
I will also vote for this.
It's just the coolest. It's probably the coolest computer. Probe lens lets you just get up in there. It's so sick. This is around the time too where I started playing with more dynamic lighting, because it was like, okay, I'm good at moving a camera. Try moving some lights around, see what that does. Ever since then, I've been like, that's been one of the things that I've loved doing. Yeah, that build, it's just, it's so
Peak.
perfect. Oh yeah, honorable mention 2.
Well, I'm gonna let you guys get back to the montage.
Go.
Again, like I was talking about with the dynamic
Yeah.
light, right? Just every shot in here has had a moving light. quality always just looks sick because there's just so much to film. It just has such presence on screen. Like, it's just such a, I am mainframe, look at me, IBM Model 1001, you know? Like, oh, I love it. All right, let's move on to 2024. Your guys' pick was actually kind of surprising this time around. It was Jay's check out my new AMD gaming rig, and it was actually a pretty simple build, but. Okay, so I have 1.1 honorable mentions for 2024. Let's go Skunkworks Mark 7. It's fun to dip into that kind of genre of like effect that I use on top of clips and stuff, but it's difficult to not overdo that because it's just such a very, it's like ranch dressing, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, there's a time and place for drinking a whole jug of it. And one of my favorite things whenever I'm doing a montage of Skunkworks like this is I always try try to make it a point to show off the Case Labs logo just because of the fact that it's just like, it's heritage, dude. I kind of treat that case like it's a classic car, you know what I mean? Like I approach it with this, I like to approach it with like this sort of like respect that I don't normally kind of use for more modern computers and builds, and just because of the fact that like, it's just, that's what good industrial design does to my brain. Okay, so it turns out I'm dumb. My point one is actually from 2023. I was thinking of a different Micro Center Austin Evans Jay's 2 cents video. This was the one where they built 2 computers to give away to people, and Austin built one. Well, you'll see.
Dumb stuff.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Give me a break.
It's just so fast.
Can we just get a quick check?
Yeah, my best work. That was my best montage in 2023. So in 2025, the most popular build was Goldmember, the black and gold fittings build that Jay did for his friend. That was, again, one of the freaking just sickest looking computers. It just, the look of that build just goes so hard. So hence the song and the track and the montage and everything. What's fun about these like programmed slider moves is that they time remap really well. Like you can speed them up and slow down, and because there's such consistency in the actual movement across the thing, you can do time ramping and it looks like you're moving it faster even though it's not. It gets rid of like, the most annoying thing about my handheld shots is like vertical bobble, because you can't stabilize that out because you're physically moving the camera up and down. It's not, like, stabilization works best if it's the camera pointing in different directions, but if you're physically moving it up and down and shaking it, then it's really hard for it to, like, you'll see it. Okay, my honorable mention for 2025 is the HS420 build. This is probably one of my favorite montages I've ever done, just because this is the one Nick was talking about that has an actual VFX shot in it finally, not counting like motion tracking text or whatever on it. God, this build looks so sick. Hence the track, Hard Hitters. Again, matching the vibe to the build, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has such a perfect like rectangle box kind of shape that like I wanted to do like a NES era kind of just like new item spawn where it just flashes white for a sec. It's like, what would that era new item spawn look like in real life? and add a little bit of smoke, add a little bit of like, then fade the background in. This is a motorized slider with 2 moves in it. I stopped right here and then resumed it without the glass panel. And then I do a wipe with a distort to try to kind of fake and give off the effect that you're phasing through the glass. And then the rest of this montage is a lot of like playing around with like the curvature in the glass gives interesting distortions and stuff, yeah. So, the last but not least mention, this is my second honorable mention for 2025, is going to be Jay's daughter's Tranquil build, because it was just such a different like departure from the norm of like style of computer that Jay built. And so it is one of my favorite builds that he's done. And so it was a super fun montage to work on just because it was just so different. Yeah, the two-tone painting of the internals of the chassis, it's like, that's a detail you'll never notice once it's full of parts because the parts kind of cover it up, but like, when you do notice it, it's like, ooh, okay.
I think this was probably during the time he was doing all the SFX case reviews too. It's kind of inspired me to want to do the SFX build.
Yeah.
But the prices went up, I'm like, no, I'm good.
All the different like
greens in the back too.
It's like Noctua in the forest. It's like the color scheme. Like if I had to give it a paint code or something, or like a Pantone colored Noctua in the forest. I think it's a perfect build to end 2025 on because we all need a little bit of tranquility. Anyway, what other ideas and concepts or videos do you want to see out of like the me and Nick camp? Because this was actually super fun to go through all of these videos. A lot of the earlier ones especially I didn't remember, and so or like I remembered vaguely, but like I didn't remember the actual little details of the montages, so it was super cool to kind of revisit them.
Kind of like my filler episode to catch me up on what I missed.
Yeah, exactly, that too. It worked out for Nick. And also, it's fun to talk a little bit about like, what goes into how the sausage is made, so. What, that's literally the term.
Yeah, sorry. Like, how do you cook a sausage upside down?
I would quote it, but it would demonetize our video.
Why is it upside down, man?
How can a sausage be upside down, you stupid little... So on that note, leave your thoughts in the comments below for like what other stuff you want to see us do. This was a super fun video idea, guys. Thank you for suggesting it. And yeah, we're always watching your comments. So thanks for watching, and until next time.
See ya.